So just when you're ready, just coming down, make yourself comfortable. So any lying position will do to start today. So whatever you find comfortable, so you can have your legs long or your feet flat on the ground, whatever feels best. And then just taking a few moments just to come away from your morning. Just beginning to draw your attention inwards. Start to be aware of your breath. So just begin to notice it just coming in and out through your nose. With your attention on it. Sometimes your breath will just naturally deepen, but try not to force it. Allow it just to be. And as your body starts to relax a little bit more towards the ground, just try and soften down a little bit more. Just noticing parts of your body maybe that are tight, and try and allow that tension just to let go a little bit. So in today's class, we're going to do a practice in creating and keeping space. So not just in our bodies, which we do through our asana practice, but also through our breath and also in our mind as well. So not trying to clear our mind, but the creation of space in your mind is basically just trying to have gaps between your thoughts. So trying to just cultivate that a little bit as you practice today. So when you're ready, we'll start to move. So you can just move your fingers and your toes. You bend your knees, so you can have your feet flat. And we're going to come in, we're going to do a little preparation for warrior three, because that's going to be our balance today. So when you're ready, we'll draw the right knee just into your chest and just place your hands just onto your knee or your shin. If you extend your left leg away, so we're going to have it, you can have it a little bit lifted off the ground if you can, and we're going to flex into your left foot. And then you're going to flex into your right foot. So we're just trying to keep that tension in both of your legs here. And then from here, if you can, release your hands, but keep the knee pulling in and keep the leg extending away through that left leg as well. Now for warrior three, we traditionally do it with a stretched leg. So if you can, as you inhale, we'll start to extend up through your right leg. Again, you don't have to fully straighten it, just take it to where it feels right to you. But keep the foot flexed and keep that left foot flexed. And start to just notice what muscles you have to engage in order to keep that kind of feeling in your legs. And then if you want a little bit more, you reach your arms by your sides and inhale and lift your chest up. Again, you don't have to do that. Just keep your chest down and just breathe into that. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly release. So just release everything back in towards your chest. You take a little movement from side to side. So we'll come into the left side now. So we'll hold the left knee in, extend your right leg away, so a little bit lifted off the ground and a little bit flexion through your feet. And then flex your left foot as well. Start to draw the left knee in a little. And then when you're ready, keep that position, but release your hands. So we're still pulling the left knee in, we're still flexing through both of your feet. And then if you can, slowly start to move that left leg up. Again, straight or bent, doesn't matter, but keep a tightness and notice what you have to do. So through your back, through your belly, through your legs. And then if you want a bit more, as you inhale, start to lift the upper body. So reaching the hands along your sides, breathing into it. Well done. One more breath. And then slowly release everything back down and in. So from here, we are going to make our way up. So you can either roll onto your side or just roll back and forwards. We are going to come into Virasana or our hero pose. If you don't want to do Virasana, just sit with your legs just out in front of you, or any comfortable seated position we do. If you can come into Virasana, we're just going to sit up, and you could use a block, so you could sit onto a block and just have your legs either side of the block and sit with your hips just onto your heels, or sit without a block. It's really up to you. So again, if it starts to become uncomfortable, particularly in your knees, then just bring your legs forward. So at any point you can do that. And then from there, we're going to do a little breathing practice just to try and create a little bit of space in our breath. So we're going to create a little mudra. This one is called Durga Mudra, and it is an anti-panic mudra, but it's also a mudra that helps with our pranayama, so with our breath practice. So if you turn your palms up, and then you're going to take your thumb, and your thumb is going to fit into the space between your ring finger and your pointer finger, just into that little gap between them. And then from there, we just close all of the other fingers, go over the top. And then bring your hands so that it's palm down, just onto your legs. Relax your shoulders. And you can either just lower your gaze or you could close your eyes. And then from there, we're just going to start to move into Samavriti, which is our even breath. So just inhaling for a count of 4, and then exhaling for a count of 4. So just take your time. And it's your count of 4, so whatever that is, it could be quicker or faster. It could be slower or faster, I should say. And from there, we're going to introduce a little pause, a little space in our breath. So we'll inhale for 4, and you're going to hold for the count of 1 to start. And then just exhale for 4, and then leave a little gap. So just pause for a count of 1. Do that again, just see how that feels. If that feels comfortable, then stay with that. We're going a little bit more. We'll inhale for 4, but then hold for a count of 2. Exhale for 4. And then that pause for a count of 2. And that might feel enough. You can manage a little bit more, then inhaling for 4. Holding for 3 this time. Exhale for 4. And hold for 3. And then we're aiming for an even breath. So again, if you can, inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. And pause for 4. If it feels too much, you can always reduce the pause or just go back to just an even breath in and out. And this breath is sometimes referred to as a square breath. So if you want to, as you're doing it, you could kind of picture a square, and each side of the square represents the inhale, the pause, the exhale, and the pause. So we'll do that one more time, so just take your own time. And when you're ready, we'll start to open the eyes. You can release the hands now, maybe give them a little shake. They are going to stay in this position, so if it has become uncomfortable, just bring your legs in front. I'm going to create a little bit of space in the upper body. So as you inhale, we'll lift the arms up, so just level with your shoulders. And then on your next inhale, we're going to start to pull the arms back. So pressing the chest forward, maybe looking up, maybe dropping the head down. And then on the exhale, we're going to round in. So you're just going to give yourself a big hug. Do that again. So inhale, start to open up through your chest. Push your chest forwards. Exhale, just rounding in. Okay, we'll do that once more. So again, opening up wide. And then draw in. Now from there, we're going to release the hands. So you're going to take them behind you. So there's a couple of options here. You could either just take hold of your hands behind you. So you could interlock your fingers just at your lower back and draw the shoulder blades together. And you'll get a little bit of space there. You can move your hands away if you want. Otherwise, you could take your hands to the floor behind you. So you just see how that feels. Create a little bit more space. So push the chest forwards again. Draw your shoulder blades together at the back. Just breathing into that. And then if you're in Virasana, if you want to from here, you could lift your legs off the ground. So we just start to lift the knees and the shins a little bit off the ground. If it's too much, then don't worry about it. Just stay with what you've got and just breathe into that. Okay, when you're ready, we'll release that. So slowly start to come back up again. And then from there, we're going to come into a wide leg child's pose. You're just going to widen your knees. So take it as wide as you need to. So you can take it pretty wide and get a really strong stretch in your inner thighs. But if it doesn't suit you, then just modify it. And then start to make your way down. And as you come down today, we're going to widen the arms as well. So you're going to have the hands really quite wide. So spreading them out. And you could use a block for your head here or drop the head down towards the ground, whatever feels comfortable, then do that. And when you get there, we're going to take your right hand and we're going to cross it all the way over and place it on top of the left hand. Starting to feel a stretch to the side of your body. So the right side body should start to feel a little bit stretched out. And drop the head down and let the hips drop back a little bit towards your heels. When you're ready, we'll change sides. Move your right hand back all the way over to the other side and then cross your left hand on top of it. Again, start to breathe into the left side of your body and to expand the space. When you're ready, come back in towards the middle. And from there, you are going to lay down now onto your belly. So you can take your time just laying yourself down. I'll turn sideways, it's better for you to see. But come down, we're going to come into Sphinx. So we're going to come up onto your forearms when you get there. So we want to have the shoulders directly underneath your elbows, and the hands are in a straight line out from your shoulders and your elbows. And we're trying to create space in the upper body here. So think about the pubic bone pressing down, the belly button lifting, and then start to think about drawing your shoulders down your back. So you get a sense of kind of drawing yourself up a little bit. And then you can use your hands here. So if you can imagine that there was little suction pads on your fingers, you can start to use that to kind of feel like you could draw your chest through. So you're really spreading across the chest. And just breathing into it. Now from here, we're going to take your right hand and we're going to turn it in so it comes more towards the left elbow, the left crease of your elbow. And then using your left hand, you're going to bring it behind your right hand. It just comes behind it a little bit. And then from there, we're just going to start to rotate round towards the left side a little, without lifting your hips. So press your hip down and just get the stretch in the upper body and a little bit through your spine as well. So don't overdo it. Okay, when you're ready, come back into that Sphinx position once more. Again, realigning your hands, lifting through your chest and lifting through the belly. So we'll do that on the other side. So we'll bend that left arm in so it comes to the crease, and then take your right hand, take it behind the left hand and start to just gently press yourself round towards that side. Again, just a little openness through your chest. Wow. Okay, slowly back into the center. This time you can just lay yourself down. So you can just bring yourself all the way down, release your back, release your head and your neck. And from there, we're going to come in and do a little cobra. So we'll move your hands just down a little bit. So you could move them so they're right underneath your shoulders if you want to. Start to draw the elbows in, so we're not letting the elbows kind of move out to the side. And then when you're ready, as you inhale, we'll start to lift through your shoulders, draw your chest up, and just take it to any position. So you don't have to come up really super high here, but try and get a feeling of stretching, but a feeling of drawing the shoulders down your back as you do that. Just breathing into it. When you're ready, slowly release. So just take your time all the way back down. And then keeping your hands there, we're just going to press up to an all fours position. So just start to press yourself up. So walk your knees in and have your knees underneath your hips, hands under the shoulders. Now from there, we're going to move around. So as if we're kind of in a barrel. So we're going to move over towards the right, bend into your right elbow, over towards the left, which will bend, and then rounding in the middle. And then once you've got it, start to move at your own time, your own pace. Try and round your back in the center as you come up a bit more. Good, very nice. And just moving and breathing. When you're ready, we'll come into the center, so just back into the middle. Now this time we're going to do that little fish stretch. So we're going to press your hips out towards the right. So just push them over as far as you can to the right side. And then start to turn your head so you're looking down that right side. And we're starting to feel more of a stretch through the left side body as you do that. Okay, inhale back to the center. Now this time we're going to step your right foot up towards the top of your mat. So just take your time stepping it through. And then as you do that, slide your left leg back maybe a little bit. So keep your hands underneath your shoulders. And then you can keep your hands on the ground here. Or if you'd like, as you inhale, just lift your chest up. And then maybe reach up with your arms. Still get that sense of space. So think about your shoulders releasing a little bit. Even if you have to bend your arms to get that, then do that. And then today, if you'd like, we're going to take your hands and interlink your fingers behind your back. As you do that, you start to open the chest again. So draw the shoulder blades together. And then maybe if it feels okay, lift your hands a little bit away from your back. But again, you don't have to. See how that feels. And you're ready. Release your hands and take them all the way back down towards the mat. When you get there, just step back. So into that all fours position. And then we're going to move in the barrel, but we're going to take it the other way. So when you're ready, we'll move over towards the left, bend into your elbow and up towards the right. Again, just take your time, see how it all feels. And then make your way back into the center. So again, as you get there, we're going to press the hips over towards the left side. So both hips kind of push over. And then start to turn and see if you can catch a glimpse of your left hip as you look round. So stretching into the right side of your body. Keep pushing equally through your hands. And back in towards the middle. Okay, as you come in, we'll step your left foot now up towards the top of your mat. Again, taking your time, positioning your legs, so knee over the ankle and the front leg. And then if you want to lift your chest, just start to lift it up. And then maybe reach up with both hands. Again, just see how it all feels. Okay, from there, we'll release the hands. So again, taking your hands behind your back, maybe move one finger up if you'd like a little different grip. Draw your shoulder blades together. Start to maybe move the hands away from your back. Okay, from there, we'll slowly release the hands all the way down and step back into all fours. So as you come into all fours now, we're going to move to our first downward facing dog. So spread your hands, start to tuck your toes and lift your hips up. And when you get there, maybe you pedal your feet out a little bit, or maybe you just hold still. So whatever you feel you need to do, but create some space. So try to feel that you can push your shoulders away from your ears a little bit more. Maybe you can spread your shoulders across your back. And maybe you bend your knees to create space. So sometimes it's not about moving into it further. Sometimes it's moving out of it a little bit. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. When you're ready, we're going to walk your hands just up towards your feet. So walk your hands back. And when you get there, just fold towards your legs. So maybe bending into the knees a little. So you can either have your hands on your legs or blocks, or you could take hold of opposite elbows here and very gently sway a little bit. When you're ready, we'll release the hands, so all the way down again. And as you inhale here, start to move your hands up your legs and lengthen your spine so you create a little bit more space there. On the exhale, just holding all the way back in. As you inhale, we'll reach up. So we're going to come all the way up to the top this time. Keep reaching with your hands. And then just draw the palms together just in front of your heart. Maybe closing your eyes just for a moment to see how everything feels. To start to feel if you can feel a little bit more space in your mind, a little bit of space in your breath. Okay, we'll release the hands, we'll open the eyes. We're going to stay at the bottom of your mat. You can either bring your feet in a little bit closer or keep them a little bit apart. We're coming in for Utkatasana, our chair pose. So when you're ready, as you inhale, we'll bend the knees, start to reach the arms. Again, create a little bit of space across your shoulders, relax the shoulders down. When you're ready, we'll fold forwards towards your legs and an inhale. When you're ready, we'll start to lengthen again, so stretching through your spine. And on the exhale, just folding back in. As you inhale, we'll come back into that chair. So start to bend your knees again. And then exhale, we'll press all the way up to stand. Inhale, bend the knees, reaching through your arms. Exhale, fold. Lengthen on the inhale. Fold back and on the exhale. As you inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, press to stand. So start to follow it with your own breath now. So taking your time, moving through it. And when you're ready, we'll all meet back up at the top. And we're going to do that once more. We're going to change it a little bit. So inhale, bending into the knees. Fold forwards on the exhale. Lengthen on the inhale. And on the exhale this time, we're going to walk the hands all the way back out to that downward facing dog. So take your time as you come out. Maybe separate your feet a little bit when you get there. And then we're going to step your right foot up towards the top of your mat. So we're going to come into a runner's lunge. And when you get there, you can definitely lower your back knees to the ground if you prefer that. So do that if you need to. Otherwise, we'll keep it lifted. And if you want to, we can lift the chest. So just lifting up, reaching up with the hands. So we come into this high crescent lunge. And then from there today, if you want to, we're going to bend the elbows. We're going to start to pull the elbows back a little bit. So opening a little bit more in your chest. And just see how it all feels. On your next inhale, we'll reach out with the arms again. And then take your hands all the way down to the ground. And step back, downward facing dog. And again, when you get there, take up a little bit more space. Do whatever you need to find that space. Okay, we'll try the other side. So we'll step forwards with your left leg this time. And again, as you get there, lower your back knee if you like. And then inhale, lifting up through your chest. So create space between your feet, because if they're too close together in these high lunges, then we feel a little bit off balance. Create as much space as you need. When you're ready, maybe bend the elbows. Maybe draw the elbows back a little bit, opening your chest. Breathing into the space that you create as you do that. Okay, on your inhale, we'll reach back up with the arms. Exhale, fold to take the hands down and step back, downward facing dog. Maybe take a big breath in through your nose and sigh it out your mouth, so creating a little bit of space in your breath there. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to walk the hands, the feet this time up towards your hands. So take your time, just walking forwards. Again, fold towards your legs when you get there. So maybe take hold of your elbows again, whatever feels right. From there, release the hands down. As you inhale, we'll lengthen again, so stretching through your spine. Exhale, folding back in towards the legs. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, palms meet the hand. Well done. So we're going to do our balance. So it is warrior three. So please feel free to use a wall here. So you could stand with one hand against the wall and come into it. You could stand and have both hands against a wall and take your leg behind you. You could grab a chair, whatever you need to. So we'll stand with your feet just about hip distance apart to begin. We'll stand onto your right leg first. So bending into your right knee, draw your belly in. And maybe just have your hands on your hips. And then maybe step back with your left foot. Just step it behind you a little bit. And then from there, if you want to, you could just start to bend into your right knee and lift your left foot up a little bit. So you can just take your time and you can always tap it back down again. And then as you feel that you can, start to lift it up a bit more. But remember how it felt before. So we want to keep that back leg strong and this standing leg strong as well. So it's not just the standing leg that has to be strong, it's the leg behind you. So squeezing into your glutes. Good. You don't have to lift very high, but start to feel the muscles activating. Good. And the hands can stay in front of your chest. Belly stays pulled up. Very nice. Now to come up again, you might just take your foot down, or maybe you could lift your body and lower the legs so we come together with your feet again. And maybe just take a moment with your eyes closed, noticing how that feels and also how your mind feels as well. Okay, we'll change sides. So again, separating your feet about hip distance. We'll stand onto the left leg this time. Again, belly in, hands to your hips if you'd like to start. And then maybe just step back a little bit with that right leg. And start to bend into the left leg if you need to. And start to lift just a little bit. And you can always tap down. Maybe bring your hands to the center. Bring it into any degree. And the flexion of the foot just helps to keep our hips nice and square. So if the foot is flexed and the toes are pointing down, and the hips are less likely to come out of alignment. So we just need to keep that alignment in our hips as we're moving into it. And again, coming out of it, you can lower your foot to the ground, or maybe you can lift your upper body and release the leg down so it matches that front leg. Hands together. Breathe. Well done. Okay, we'll release the hands, we'll open the eyes. Okay, so when you're ready, we're going to come in and do some standing postures now. So we'll come down towards the bottom of your mat again. And again, as you come in, we're just going to come into that chair pose. So we're going to move from our downward dog today into our standing postures. So feet together or apart. And then as you inhale, just start to bend into your knees, so reaching through your hands. On the exhale, just folding forwards towards your legs. As you inhale here, lengthen through your spine. And on the exhale, we'll start to walk the hands all the way up towards that downward facing dog. So again, when you get there, creating a little bit of space, breathing deeply. Well done. So we're going to step your right foot up towards the top of your mat. So take your time, look where you're going and step it through and come into warrior one. So right foot down, left heel down at the back and rise up. So take your time finding some space in your warrior one position. So you want to find space for your hips to be able to rotate around. So that might mean you have to step your back foot in, or it might mean that your right foot has to walk out to the side a little, but the shoulders and hips are forwards. And then maybe in the upper body, you need to bend your elbows a little bit to create that space in your shoulders. Try and find that spaciousness in your breath. And a little bit of peace in your mind. And today we're going to come into humble warrior. So we're going to release your hands. We'll interlink the fingers behind your back. So again, you could stay upright here if you want to, but start to draw the shoulder blades together and open your chest. If you want to move forwards, you could move a little bit, or maybe taking your belly or your chest down towards that front leg. Or maybe you could rest your shoulder on it and then rest the head down. If that feels okay, start to lift your arms up and over. But again, just take your time. And remember, we're trying to find space. So try not to just collapse onto that leg. It's tempting. I know, but keep drawing your belly in. So keep a certain sense of you being in control rather than you just lying on that leg. We're still creating space. When you're ready, we're going to come up. So you can release your hands if you want, or keep them there and lift up. Release the hands and reach up to warrior one for one breath, and then open up to warrior two on the exhale. So as you come into warrior two, you might be able to create more space. You might need to widen your legs a little bit. But we're trying to open the hips, so try and keep that front knee pulling back a little bit. And then start to feel that you could create a little bit of space in the upper body as well. So draw your shoulder blades together a little bit, open your chest, stretch through your fingertips, look along your front hand. And breathing into the space that you create. Now from here, we're going to create more space by coming into reverse warrior. So we're going to take your left hand down that back thigh, turn your right hand up, and then start to lift through that hand, creating all of the space now in the upper body, keeping the legs the same, but starting to stretch more, taking the space for all of our essential organs, for our breath, as we stretch up through your fingertips. And we're going to try and maintain that space as we come into side angle. So moving forward, keep that space there, and just move your arm down, and then maybe stretch up and over through your left hand. Again, if you want to, you could take that right hand further down, but we still need to be creating that same sense of space as we come into it. So we're not folding forwards, we're still rotating the chest a little bit, breathing deeply. Okay, we'll take one more in. We'll start to move back up. So just to warrior two, just for a breath here. And then release both of your hands down towards the ground. As you do that, turn onto the toes of your left leg and lower your left knee towards the mat. So we're going to come in for our lizard lunge here. I was going to say lizard lounge. A lizard lunge. I wish it was a lizard lounge. Okay, so both hands to the inside of your right foot. We're going to move your right foot out towards the right side of your mat. So keep walking it out until you feel you've got enough space there in your hips. If you do want to, some people like to lift the right foot up and actually turn it out, so it gives you kind of a little bit more space in your hip. But see how that feels. If you want to keep the toes facing towards the top edge of your mat, then do that. And then once you're there, maybe you just hold here. Maybe you bend your elbows a little bit. Maybe you could grab a block and place your elbows on a block as well, so you can lower down to the block. Or maybe you can lower to the ground, but just see how it feels. And moving in deeper to these postures means that we still have to keep that sense of space in our breath. Sometimes when we move in too much, our breath becomes a little bit ragged, and maybe we become a little bit agitated, so your mind won't be spacious. Try and Get into a position where it feels comfortable. It feels like you can breathe there. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to move up. So maybe just move up a little bit first. And then turn your toes in if they're turned out and start to walk your foot in towards the center, so just between your hands. Once you get there, we're just going to step back to a wide leg child's pose. You can just step that foot back, widen your knees again. You don't have to widen your knees, you can just come into any version of child's pose if you want to. And then maybe instead of stretching your arms out, you can just cross them over and drop your head down and just relax a little bit. See how that side of your body is feeling. Okay, we're going to take one more inhale. We're going to start to move up, just to an all fours position. So if you take your time, just coming into it. So separate your knees. We're going to do a little cat-cow here. As you inhale, just drop your belly, start to pull forwards through your chest. And then on the exhale, just rounding in. Okay, when you're ready, we'll come back in towards the center. And from here, we're just going to move back into a downward facing dog. So we'll start to tuck the toes and lift the hips up. And again, see if you can create a little more space while you're there. So we'll just move on to the other side. So we're going to step your left foot up towards the top of your mat. So we're moving to warrior one again. So spin the heel, press it down, start to rise up when you're ready, and just coming into it. So again, where can you create a little bit more space? Relax the shoulders, soften your gaze a little bit. Okay, so from here, we are going to come into our humble warrior. So we'll take the hands, interlink your fingers. Again, maybe moving one finger up, or your shoulder blades together, open your chest. Start to move in if you'd like, moving forwards to any degree, so just to where it feels right. And release yourself down. Maybe moving your hands up and over, see how it feels. Create that sense of space in the posture, in your breath, in your mind. We'll start to move up. So again, you could release your hands or keep them where they are. Rise back up. Release your hands there. On an inhale, just reach up to warrior one and then slowly open up into warrior two. Again, creating space in that. So, maybe you can widen it a little bit. Start with your legs and your hips and start to create space in your lower body. So opening up through the hips. So pull back on the front knee, pull back a little bit on your right hip. Open up through your chest. Find your gaze. Okay, we're going to reverse it. So take your right hand down your back thigh, left hand turns up, creating that sense of spaciousness. And it has to be spacious in your neck as well. So if looking up actually closes your neck off, then don't look up as much. Find spaciousness everywhere in the posture. And then maintaining that space, we'll start to move into side angle. Again, placing the forearm down, reaching up through your fingertips. Good, still keeping the legs the same, but just opening up a little bit more through the body as you come into side angle. If you do want to take your hand down, then take it down, but without compromising the posture. Keep the sense of spaciousness within it. Okay, we'll take our time, move up to warrior two, so come back up again. And then from here, we're going to bring the arms all the way down to the ground once more. As you do that, time on the toes of your right leg, lower your right knee towards the mat. As you lower it down, move your hands to the inside of your left foot and start to walk your left foot out towards the left edge of your mat. And as you get there, maybe you pick the toes up and turn them over towards the left a little bit more to create some more space. Either stay here, bend your elbows, grab a block, or maybe lower down to your forearms, but just whatever feels right. And again, it's not just physically, you know, how does it feel in your breath when you get there? Is your mind settled when you're there, or does it just want to get out? Okay, when you're ready, we'll move back up, so take your time. When you're ready, start to move the toes in and walk your foot in that comes more towards the middle. And then we'll step back, so back into that child's pose. So any variation, so narrow, wide, whatever feels right. Just moving into it, trying to relax into it as much as you can. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to make our way back up. So just press yourself up. We're going to have a little seat towards the front. So you can just swing your legs just round to the front. So we're going to do a couple of forward folds here, but before we do it, we're going to try and create a little bit of space in your spine. So if you want to, you can sit on a block here, or maybe just move the fleshy parts out of the way. Just folded up blanket, something like that helps. And then we'll reach the hands forward. So we're just going to have our wrist level with your shoulder. And then we're just going to stretch forward and sideways. So as you inhale, we're going to reach forward. So we're going to lengthen through your spine. And then on that exhale, we'll just start to move back again. So shoulders over your hips. So do that again. So start to stretch forward. So we're not coming down towards our feet, but we're trying to really lengthen through the muscles of your back. Just stretching them out a little bit. Again, moving forward just in your own time and moving back. Okay, we'll do that twice more, so take your time. It doesn't matter how far you go, but just think about feeling the stretch through the muscles of your back. When you come back up, you can release your arms. We're going to come into Paschimottanasana. So when you're ready, you can keep your feet a little bit apart. You can bring them together. You could use a strap here as well. So if you've got one, use that. So as you inhale, we'll reach up first, so creating space through the sides of our body. And then as you exhale, we're just going to fold forwards. So you might just place your hands on the ground, onto your legs, your ankles, your feet, but we still want that sense of lengthening forwards through your spine. So maybe here on the inhale, you could lift your chest a little bit, and then on the exhale, fold in. And you could do that for a few breaths, but just see how it feels. If it doesn't feel right to you, then you just stay still and just hold the posture. And then for the last few breaths, we are just going to try and relax here. So, round in, release your grip. soften everything. When you're ready, slowly start to move back up again. As you come up, we're going to come into Janu Shavasana. So we're going to keep your right leg straight and bend your left leg in. So again, if it's high, maybe use a block or just start to press that leg down. Start to turn a little bit so your spine is kind of aligned with your front leg. And then again, use a strap if you'd like. Inhale to reach up and exhale to fold. And to any degree again, so wherever your hands lie, that's kind of where you want to go. And again, you could use that same technique. So inhaling to lift the chest, exhaling to fold, up to you, or just hold it. Remember, on these postures, your drishti is on your toes. When you're ready, we'll slowly come back up. We're going to do a little oppositional stretch before we come in for the other side. So we're just going the opposite way. So we're going to take your left hand just behind the back of the left thigh somewhere. You might need it quite far back, but just you can always adjust it. So with the left hand down, all you're going to do is to reach up and back with your right hand. So you just get this sense of stretching through the front of your body. If you want a little more, you could move the hand back a little bit and then push into the hand and lift your hips up as you reach up and back. Just see how that feels. Okay, we'll slowly release all the way back down again. And then we'll bring your legs all the way around towards the front. So maybe give them a little shake. So we'll come in for that other side. So keeping your left leg straight, bend your right leg in. So coming back into Janu Shavasana first. Again, settle the knee down and rotate your body round towards that left leg. So inhale to reach and fold forwards on the exhale. Again, grab your strap, use it around your foot if you like. Start to lengthen your spine forwards. Without lifting your sit bones up, so you want the sit bones pressing down and the spine lengthening forwards. And use your breath, so start to use your breath to settle in. Stay focused. When you're ready, we'll slowly come back up again. So take your time. So this time with your right hand. So again, just behind that right thigh, you might just reach up and back with your left hand, or pushing into that right hand, lift your hips up and then reach up and back. Okay, slowly release all the way back down again. You can release your legs, just bring them around to the front, give them a little shake. So we're going to move down onto your back now. We're going to do a little bridge. You could use your block for your bridge if you want it a bit more restorative. If you want to, you can come with me. I'm going to try and create a bit of space in it, but just see how it goes. So lay yourself down onto your back. Walk your feet in. So you're going to have your feet hip distance with the heels quite close in. And then we'll have the hands just palms up, just resting by your sides. As you inhale, push through your feet, start to lift the hips. And if you're doing it more restoratively, then just grab a block, place it underneath your hips and just rest the hips down. If you want a little bit more, start to press the hips up. So creating a little bit more space in your ribs, in your hips. Now from here, if you want to, if you're high enough, so if you're on your shoulders, maybe you can move your shoulder blades underneath your back. Maybe you want to interlock your fingers and push through the upper arms to lift the hips even more. And today, if you want to, you could walk your feet in a little bit more and come up onto the balls of your feet. So then you can push up a little bit higher, but just see how it feels. If it's not for you, then So don't bother doing it. Just creating space. And there is actually some evidence to suggest that if we, in this position, if we breathe deeply into our rib cage, we can actually create more space for our breath by stretching the intercostal muscles, the muscles between your ribs, if you inhale deeply enough. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. So we're going to start to release. You might want to walk your feet out and lower your heels first. Releasing your hands and start to slowly lower yourself all the way back down again. As you do that, maybe draw your knees in towards your chest and take a little movement. Then from here, we're going to come in for a little twist. So we'll place your feet flat and then lift your right leg up. We're going to cross over, so over the thigh, so there's no gaps once you cross your legs. Stretch your arms out to the side and then just drop your legs just over towards the left side. Maybe turn and look along your right hand. When you're ready, inhale back into the center. And we'll just change legs. So just uncrossing that right leg and lift the left leg over the top of it. Again, drop both legs over to the right, turning the head to the left. And you're ready, back into the middle. Uncross your legs again. This time, if you want to, bring your arms down by your sides and just take the soles of your feet together. So just let the knees drop open to the sides. So your hands can stay where they are, or maybe you could lift your arms up and over. So we take them over your head to open up through your chest as well. But see how it feels. If it feels too much on your low back, then bring the arms back over. And then you're ready. Slowly bring the arms over. Use the hands here just to press the legs back together once more. Maybe drawing your knees in and taking any final little movements. So we are going to move into Shavasana next. So if you do want to grab some socks or jumper or something, please do. Take a moment just to surrender to where you are right now. Make space in your physical surroundings to relax and get comfortable. Tune in to what your body needs in this moment. Slowly start to release the cords that have been connected to you today, drawing in all parts of you to here and now. Switching off distractions and committing to yourself. Begin to create a space just for you. Notice areas in your body that are feeling full, spaces in your mind that have become cluttered by your day-to-day chatter. As you become more and more devoted to the softness of your relaxation here and now, you recognize a lightness coming to these spaces, as if you've allowed whatever is taking up most space to gently drift away. You decide here and now that you can allow them to take up space somewhere else for now, as in this moment they are no longer needed. You feel a sense of expansiveness and light wash over your body, an opening up wash through your mind. Remind yourself that anything you truly need will be there for you when you finish this meditation, and that everything is working in your favor. Begin to take deep, rhythmic, expansive breaths, gently expanding through your ribs and opening your belly. Feel your body flooded with more fresh space, and allow the capacity of your being to expand with each new inhalation. Keep with a rhythm that is unique to you, rolling in and out of your body, freeing up space in your mind. As you exhale slowly, perhaps with a sigh, you sense yourself letting go of any remaining tension. Softness, surrender, and spaciousness now nurtures you deeper into comfort and calm. You're here and now. When you're ready, we'll just take a deep inhale through your nose, and then just sigh it out your mouth. You can do that again if you like. Just deeply inhale and just let it go. And then you can start to move a little bit. So just through your fingers and your toes. Maybe stretching your arms over your head, taking a big full stretch. Just when you're ready, we'll bring the arms over. You can start to bend your knees and just move a little. If you want to roll over onto your side, then just do that. And then just when you're ready, just take your time. Just make your way up. We'll just find a comfortable seat when you're ready. We'll bring the palms together just in front of your heart, leaving a little space between your hands to signify an openness in your heart. So thank you so much for coming along and practicing with me. Hope you enjoyed the creating and keeping space practice that we did. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll just stop the recording and then you can unmute yourself.